The BVR kits, they were actually stolen in Mandera.
Arabia.
Right? The government had an inkling that the BVR kits were going to be stolen because when we hack back to December, they said that the Al-Shabaab is planning to invade one of or some of the police posts in this country and walk away with the BVR kits. So people are politicizing this as well. Was the government really knowing this is going to happen, or has it been, I don't want to say this has been planned by the government, right? But the connection and the links that we have here, there is an intelligence, here it is happening. What did the government do between December and now to prevent the BVR kits not being stolen by Al-Shabaab? Dr. Mustafa.
It's interesting that Al-Shabaab steals BVR kits. I don't know what elections Al-Shabaab normally does.
Maybe today's election, they need the
BVR
BVR
so that they can carry out the elections
I'm
there.
telling you, 29 candidates for presidency is a lot.
That's right. Dibal, and we've said it so many times here, I think there's always intelligence to or a pointer to the fact that something is going to happen, and it's acting on that intelligence that often either fails to happen, never happens, or too slow to happen. And our security agencies need to work much harder.
Yes.
They need to be equipped, of course, to address these issues more robustly. I believe the Ministry of Interior is doing a very good work in terms of equipping at the moment to address these challenges to do with terrorism that we are facing in this country. And it's a good thing that we have not experienced terrorist attacks in Nairobi, in Mombasa, and many other towns across the country. That's a pointer to the good work that is being done. But the problem is still in the border towns, where there's still a lot of, I don't know whether it's laxity or simply that the security agents, the police, are spread thin, and they are not able to cover all these areas.
All right. Let's hear from Dr. Mumo.
Yeah. Arabia is about almost over 100 kilometers outside Mandera, and it's a very remote area. The Al-Shabaab has been seriously degraded by joint efforts, AMISOM and international agencies and countries working together with Kenya also. And so they do a lot of hit and run. They're split into small bands. But we shouldn't belittle this kind of thing. It's called subversion. They don't have to take those kids to use them or anything, but it's an act of subversion. There was a lot of work behind the scenes to ensure that they don't interfere with KCSE exams, KCP, and other things. It is to their advantage to see that they have messed up, for example, transportation. That they have interfered with, and that's why they destroy the communication masts, and they did that in Arabia. So let's not belittle the whole thing, and because it's because it's election seasons and the whole discussion of BVR kits and so on, they can be stolen or they can be confiscated by Al-Shabaab just to disrupt the system. And that was the kind of intel that was there. So that is important. But I don't think the government
we cannot belittle.
Yeah.
I mean, what really happened in Arabia is very, very, very
serious.
grave.
Exactly.
Yeah? Because we're talking about the security of elections in this country as we're heading towards.
Exactly.
And part of it is also the security of the election materials.
Yeah, but
we've seen people being killed who are carrying also,
That's right.
Yeah. So if a BVR kit can be stolen from a police station,
that's right.
How secure also will be our returning officers in the polling stations?
Yeah, that is work in progress. But what I'm saying, I don't think the state can subvert itself, and because there are other people who brought in other things. Of course, there are some other issues around that area about the localized politics. There's the Garre, the Godia divide, and some of that, and happened last election cycle. But those could be other things.
Okay, Professor Dr. Mashira, first of all, let me ask you, because we've had the president expressing frustrations in regard to how also the security machinery does not react effectively to intelligence. This happened, and when he was giving a statement from State House, he said categorically that there was intelligence and it was not acted on, and we had Westgate. Intelligence has been here again, in Arabia, it has not been acted on. We had intelligence from the Baragoi, Mpeketoni. So what is really happening? Over the years, if you have intelligence, is there no coordination between the NIS and the security machinery in this country? We cannot be having or trotting this excuse about intelligence not being acted on. Something then has broken within the system.
I think there is a disconnect between these institutions. There was one time these people went to State House, the criminal justice system, and they started a blame game.
Yes.
The prosecutor is blaming the police is blaming internal security, and that disconnect has caused all the problems we have. We have known that Mandera, Northeastern, is a conflict-prone area. We know that there will be conflict in Mandera. But the police or the security agencies are not enough in that area. You find a lot of security operators here in safe zones. Mm-hmm. A lot of them in Nairobi, especially these traffic police. Others in the armed forces, you find a lot of jeshi in the barracks in Nanyuki, in this save of Kahawa, Langata. I was of the opinion that a lot of these people should be taken to those zones. Either we shift some of our training colleges to those areas because they are very fast, they have space, so that this can secure our borders. But you find a lot of them are concentrated in Nairobi, which makes the terrorists have a field day out there. So that, for me, is not work in progress. That is work that is supposed to be going systematically because we are so insecure in those areas, and that's why that area will not develop. So these Al-Shabaab people can walk in and walk out because they know there are no people around there. And people who are there are not motivated enough. They are there, yet their mind is not there. So once they come on leave, they stay 3 weeks hiding out here. They do not want to stay there because there is no motivation. Mm-hmm. There are no facilities. They are not enough. So who would be ready to die in Arabia? Someone coming from Nyanza or Kisi. They will go away on leave.
Okay, fantastic. But isn't it consternating that the fact that we had an intelligence and yet they could actually just, it's like a walking in the park. Go pick the BVR kids and walk away. Why were these police posts not given a heightened security in regard to protect these BVR kids?
Dubar, first of all,
I'm sorry, can I just take Dr. Mustafa, because I know Mustafa has to go and give a lecture at the defense school. Okay. Right, so let's just hear from him.
Yeah, Dibal, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'll be leaving shortly. We must say this, first of all, that I think since Westgate happened, there's been a lot of internal reorganization, it seems, to ensure that there's more coordination between different agencies of the state in order to address security. And this is why actually there have been fewer and fewer terrorist attacks in towns across the country. The problem is still in these far-flung areas, and it appears that the agencies that are responsible for acting on the available intelligence have not been able to do its work very well. And this is something that needs to be interrogated. The agency that is supposed to be dealing or acting on the available intelligence to prevent the kind of incidences like the stealing of the BVR from a police station, this is something that needs to be addressed, and more so at this point between now and elections time.
Thank you. All right. Professor.
But first of all, I'm not completely convinced that Al-Shabaab came to steal the BVR kids.
You're not convinced?
I'm not convinced.
So you don't agree with the editorial cartoon then?
Editorial cartoon can do whatever they want, but my belief, my suspicion is that these kids may turn around and be filled up by the time we have election. That is a possibility. So I'm raising a question.
A question.
I'm raising a question because anything can happen. Now let me talk about other things. The other bigger things.
But you talk a very, very serious thing.
Yeah, it is serious.
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
these BVR kits are lost,
Yes.
if they've not been tracked, we do not have the serial numbers of BVR kits. What will be happening with these BVR kits? You say that you read a dark underbelly to this as well, right? Dr. Mumo says we should not try and politicize this thing. The government cannot sabotage itself. So you don't hold with his view.
Anything can happen. Okay, I'm just raising a question that I'm not convinced that Al-Shabaab came for the purpose of stealing the BVR kits. I'm not sure the major benefit that Al-Shabaab can have, apart from disrupting.
But maybe we need to
election.
probe questions on these BVR
Yes.
kits. How did they know that the BVR kits, first of all, was stashed away in Arabia?
That's
Yeah.
We have a candidate.
There's an informer.
They want to go and recruit people in Somalia so that they can have one of their readers in Kenya.
No. Let's not far-fetch it. Let's look at the veracity of these allegations. I think this is a tinderbox and that is waiting to explode. We should actually discuss the election materials security as well. But just finish your point, Prof.
We're coming closer to election, so anything can happen. Okay, and we all know that when we were having teens, there were teens that were filled up before election happened.
Yes.
There were people who voted so many times. We have seen a situation where Presidents Kibaki and President Moi, names has been added so many times. Now, all these things goes to the essence and our ability to be able to manage a democratic and fair election. We need to really figure out, we need to really research, we need to really find out what actually happened to these BVR kids. Where were they placed? Who was responsible? What role does this police that were there guarding them? What happened? Unless all these things are established, I cannot simply believe that Al-Shabaab came purposely. That's the work they came to.
Let's leave it at that.
Let me take it to a different level. I have said many times that we cannot secure Kismayu before we secure our border. Our borders are porous.
Right.
Anything is going to happen. So we must secure Kenya border and Somalia border.
Thank you.